Hello everyone, Namaste, and a warm welcome to you all to today's class. I'm Sorna Kamal. Today I'm delighted to take you on a journey into the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, a powerful source of guidance and inner strength for all who seek peace, growth, and true freedom in life. In today's session, we will explore powerful verses from the Gita along with their deep practical meaning. Whether you are searching for clarity in life, spiritual growth, or inner balance, these verses are like a map to the ultimate freedom of the soul. So let's sit back, observe the wisdom, and let's the word of Krishna illuminate our mind and heart. The Bhagavad Gita is not merely a book. It is a sacred scripture that purifies the inner self, illuminates life, and reveals the path of truth. Within the Sanatan tradition, there exist more than 60 texts known as Gitas, such as Bhagwad Gita spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, the Uddhava Gita spoken by Lord Krishna to his friend Uddhava, and the Ashtavakra Gita spoken by Ashtavakra to King Janaka. All of these are divine composition, songs of wisdom meant to be lived and sung through life. The Bhagavad Gita consists of 700 verses divided into 18 chapters, in which life, duty, humanity, self-knowledge, yoga, devotion, peace, and the path to liberation are present in a short out yet remarkably beautiful manner. The Bhagavad Gita appears within the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata, composed by Maharshi Vedvyas. As you may probably already know from the Mahabharata, King Dhritarashtra, one of the central figures of Mahabharata, was blind from his birth and therefore unable to witness the great war of Kurukshetra with his own eyes. For this reason, Maharshi Vedvyas granted divine vision to Sanjay. Through this divine sight, Sanjay could see every event on the battlefield, the emotion of the warriors, the tremors of war, Arjuna's inner conflict, and the divine teachings of Lord Krishna, and narrate them truthfully to Dhritarashtra. Even today, when we listen to the story of Mahabharata or watch it depicted in television series, we are witnessing the very events once described by Sanjay. Are you ready to transform your life with the timeless guidance of the Bhagavad Gita? So let's begin. Dhritarashtra uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Shamaveta Yuyutsava Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Kurvata Sanjaya. Its meaning: O Sanjay, on the sacred land of Kurukshetra, where those eager for battle have assembled, what are my sons and the sons of Pandus doing now? The real secret here is that Kurukshetra and Dharmakshetra are not merely external lands. This battlefield exists within our heart as well. Every action human beings perform daily takes place on this inner Kurukshetra. In response to this question, Sanjay describes the battlefield scene to the Dhritarashtra, clearly explaining which warrior stands where, in what form, and with what intensity. When Arjuna's chariot, driven by Krishna himself, entered the battlefield, the story becomes even more compelling. When Arjuna reaches the middle of the battlefield and sees his own brothers, teachers, elders, relatives, and other loved ones standing as enemies, his mind weakens. His hand trembles, his body collapses, tears flows from his eyes, his bow slips from his hand, and he falls helplessly to the floor of the chariot. At this moment, a mighty warrior is completely shattered mentally, and thus the first chapter comes to an end. Except for this opening verse, Dhritarashtra does not speak again in the Gita. He merely opens the way for the discourse, just as a chairman grants permission for a session to begin. Of the remaining 699 verses, Sanjay speaks 41, Arjun speaks 84, and Lord Krishna speaks 574 verses. Then, with this verse spoken by Sanjay, the second chapter begins. Sanjay uvacha tam tatha kripayabhishtam ashrupurna kulechanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha Madhusudana. Seeing Arjun filled with compassion, his eyes brimming with tears and his mind deeply disturbed, Lord Madhusudana spoke those words to him. In reality, the sweet yet profound words of Lord Krishna in the second chapter shake not only Arjuna but us as well. Lord Krishna asks Arjuna, where has this weakness come from? What you are doing leads neither to success nor to heaven. This behavior is not worthy of you. Do not be impotent. Abandon this cowardice and arise. Then Arjuna replies, O Keshava, rather than gaining a kingdom by killing my teachers, elders, and relatives, would it not be better for me to live as an ascetic, begging for alms? After hearing this, Krishna begins imparting divine wisdom to Arjuna about the soul, duty, action, life, and death, yoga, meditation, and the state of steady wisdom. Some verses from the second chapter and their meaning are here. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Matra Sparsastu Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukhada Agampaino Anityastam Stitichya Bharata. Pleasure and pain, heat and cold that arise from contact with the senses are temporary. Endure them with patience. Vasangsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihanati naro parani tatha sarirani vihaya jirna nyanyani samyati navani dehi. Just as we discard worn out clothes and put on new ones, in the same way the soul discards old bodies and takes new ones. Nainam chindanti sastrani nainam dahati pavaka na chainam kledayantyapo na shoshayati maruta. Weapons cannot cut the soul, fire cannot burn it, water cannot soak it, and wind cannot dry it. Therefore, O Arjuna, since the soul never dies, why worry about whether the body exists or not? Atva prapsyasi swargam jitva pochese mahim tasmat uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritanischaya. O son of Kunti, if you die, you will attain heaven. If you live, you will rule the earth with prosperity. Therefore stand up and fight with firm determination. Sukha dukhe same kritva lava lava jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujashva naivam papam avashyasi. Maintain equality in pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat. Then engage in battle. Thus no sin shall touch you. Karmanyeva dhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturvur ma te sangastu karmadi. You have the right only to perform action. not to its result. Do not be attached to the fruits of action, nor abandon action itself. Yogastha kuru karmadi shangam tektva dhananjaya siddha siddhu shamo bhutva samottam yoga uchyate. O Arjuna, perform your duties established in yoga, abandoning attachment. Remain equal in success and failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Buddhiyukto jahatiya ube sukri taduskrite tasmat yogaya yujashva yoga karma shukaushalam. A person endowed with discernment renounces attachment to the results of both good and bad actions. Therefore, engage in karma yoga, for excellence in action itself is yoga. To become a yogi is to become steady, to become a person of stable wisdom. Arjuna uvacha istit pragyasya ka vasa samadhisthasya kesava istidadi kim pravaset kim asita brajeta kim. O Kesava, how does a person of steady wisdom speak? How does such a person sit? And how does such a person move? Sri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyeva atmana tushta istit pragyans tadochyate. O Partha, when a person abandons all desires arising in the mind and remains satisfied in the self alone, independent of external objects and results, then that person is called one of the steady wisdom. Dukheshu anudigna mana sukheshu vigataspriya vitaraga bhaya krodha istirdhir munirvuchyate. One whose mind is not burned by the fire of sorrow and not swept away by the flood of pleasure is truly a person of steady wisdom. Or one whose mind does not become restless in suffering and does not become intoxicated by happiness is called a sage of stable intellect. Dhyato Vishayan Pangsha Sanghas Pajayate Shangat Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodha Vijayate. A person develops attachment to whatever subject he repeatedly contemplates. From attachment arises desire, and when desire is unfulfilled, anger is born. Krodhat bhavati sammoha shammoha smriti vibhrama smriti bhangshat buddhinaso buddhinasat pranasyati. From anger arises delusion. Delusion leads to confusion of memory. When memory is lost, discernment is destroyed. And when discernment is destroyed, the person completely falls. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano anuvidiyate tadasya harati pragyam vayurnavam imam vashi. Just as wind agitates a boat on water and makes it directionless, similarly, when the senses wander and the mind follows them, a person's discernment is lost and he too becomes directionless. Ya nisa sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sha nisha pashyatyo mune. That which appears unclear or strange to ordinary people is fully understood and awakened within a disciplined, wise person. And what ordinary people consider important appears as darkness and insignificance to the wise. In other words, those ignorant people who run after the material world, this means nothing to the wise. The soul alone is supreme. Therefore, Krishna says, become wise. For there is no path greater than the path of knowledge. Thus, the second chapter concludes. Then Arjuna again falls into doubt, wondering whether knowledge is superior or action is superior. And with this inquiry, the third chapter, Karma Yoga, begins. Arjuna Vacha Jyayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janarjana Tatkim Karmadi Ghori Mang Nyo Jayasi Kesava. O Janardana, if in your view knowledge is superior to action, then why do you engage me in this terrible action or war? Sri Bhagavan Vacha Loke asmin duvida nishta pura praktamaya naga jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. O Arjuna, I have described two spiritual paths in this world. The path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, for those who seek liberation through self-knowledge, and the path of action or Karma Yoga, for those who seek yoga through performing their duties. न कर्मणा मनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषस्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति. No one attains freedom from action by not performing action, nor does anyone achieve perfection merely by renunciation. Nahi kaschid क्षणमपि जातु त्रिष्टित्य कर्मकृत् कारयते havase karma sarva prakriti gunai. No one can remain without action even for a moment. All beings are compelled to act by the three qualities of nature, even against their will. Karmendriyadi samyamya yaste manama smaran indriyarthanam vimodatma mithyachara sayuchyate. One who restrains the senses outwardly but dwells mentally on sense object is deluded and is called a hypocrite. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo hyakarmana sariryatra pichate na prisiddhayat hyakarmana. O Arjuna, perform your prescribed duty regularly. Action is superior to inaction. Without action, even the maintenance of your body and life would not be possible. Therefore, Krishna instructs Arjuna to become a karma yogi and perform action. At this point, Arjuna becomes somewhat calm and curiosity awakens within him. Arjuna vacha atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha anichannapi vasraneya baladiva niyojita. O Vasraneya, why does a person commit sinful action even unwillingly, as if driven by some external force? Sri Bhagavan Vacha Kamaisha Krodayesa Rajo Guna Samudbhava Mahashano Mahapapma Vidvena Meha Bairinam. Desire and anger arise from the quality of passion, rajas. They are the cause of great destruction and grave sin. Know them to be your true enemies in this world. Dhumena briyate vainir yatha darsha malena cha yathulvena brito karvas tatha tene damabritam. Just as fire is covered by smoke, a mirror is by dust, and an embryo by the womb, similarly human knowledge is covered by the veil of ignorance. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityapairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena nalena cha. O Arjuna, knowledge is obscured by its external enemy, that is desire, which is insatiable and destructive like fire. Indriyani mano buddhir asya adhishtanam uchyate yateyar vimohayates jnanama britadenam. The senses, mind and intellect are the main foundation of a person. Desire and anger delude these and obscure self-knowledge. Thus, bewildering the individual. Tasmat indriyani yadav niyamya bharatas sava papmanam prajaihenam jnana vijnananashanam. Therefore, O Arjuna, first control your senses. By doing so, sin is destroyed, for sin destroys both knowledge and wisdom. Indriyani paranyayur indriyebhya paramana manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastusha. The senses are superior to the body. The mind is superior to the senses, and the intellect is superior to the mind. Beyond the intellect is the self. Mind is greater than the senses. Intellect is stronger than the mind, and greater than intellect is the self. When the self is realized, everything is conquered. Evam buddhi param buddhva samstabhyatmanatmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. O Arjuna, knowing the self as a superior to intellect, steady the self by the self and conquer the formidable enemy in the form of desire. Jnanena tu tat jnanam esam nasitam atmana tesam adityavas jnanam prakasayati tat param. For those whose ignorance has been completely destroyed by self-knowledge, that knowledge shines like the sun. It brings supreme illumination into their lives and helps illuminate the world as well. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukha dukheshu manapamanayo. One who has conquered the mind and is completely tranquil has their consciousness observed in the Supreme Self. Such a yogi remains balanced in heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, and is not disturbed by any circumstance. Shamo damastapa shaucham chantir arjavaveva cha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhajam. Equanimity, control of the senses, austerity, purity, forgiveness, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and faith are Brahmic action. We are Brahma. That is the highest spiritual qualities and deeds.